You have consistently praised the free market as the most effective means by which to combat racism, sexism, etc., correct?
Yes.
Right? You believe legislation prohibiting such behaviors is essentially unneeded in today's day and age because you have faith that people, such as yourself, are conscious enough to fight discrimination in business where it can be shown, and at the end of the day, a business should be given immense freedom to conduct itself in the pursuit of profit. My question is as follows. If insurance companies can charge young males as a group higher prices for car insurance than young females, because the former has statistically been shown to be more reckless drivers, does this not leave open the possibility in a free market system for insurance companies to charge premiums based on certain ethnic or racial categories if these ethnic or racial categories statistically correlate with more reckless driving? If you object to the notion of charging someone more based on a factor that that person has virtually no agency in choosing, such as race or sex, why do you not condemn the fact that young men have to pay more? If you do not object to the possibility that a person of a certain sex, ethnic, or racial group may have to pay more on that basis, then are you not failing to disavow discriminatory business practice?
Okay, so that's a long paragraph, but I think what it really boils down to, the answer is that what you're now conflating ethnic racism with risk factors. Okay,
Right.
I don't conflate racism with risk factors, meaning if you are saying that insurance companies may use being black as a proxy for heart disease, for example, because black men suffer from heart disease at a higher rate than white men do of the same age once you hit a certain age, then my answer is that insurance companies in the business of assessing risk, not in the business of assessing racism. So if they look at you and they say that this is a higher risk factor, I mean another case, sickle cell anemia, right? There are certain diseases that actually do afflict races differently. Tay-Sachs affects Jews differently. So the answer is you're an insurance company. Of course you're going to charge more to somebody who has a higher risk factor. That's not racism. That's just the profit motive. I'm not saying that everyone's going to get charged the same in an insurance scheme. Of course not. I assume that you and I won't be charged the same. I'm older than you, presumably. They'll measure our bodily health. I don't know how much pot you smoke. Like, they'll make a bunch of distinctions, you know, and they'll make a bunch of decisions as to what our risk factors are and how that measures out in terms of what I need to pay in order to cover my projections. But that has nothing to do with quote-unquote discrimination. That's just a basic market decision.
Right.
That's actuarial,
Just for
actuarial decision
clarification,
making.
so there was a study in which, I forgot what organization of the United States federal government did it, but Native Americans in Arizona were found to have, you know, to essentially be engaged in fatal car crashes at a higher rate than any other group.
Okay.
You think it's perfectly permissible for insurance companies to charge someone a surplus, just charge someone an extra premium by virtue of the fact that they are Native American in Arizona?
No, I think it's fair for an insurance company to charge someone based on the risk factor of driving. So what I would suggest is that in a free market system, and this is why I defend a free market system, let's say there was an insurance company who did what you're talking about. Right? And the insurance company decided Native Americans get charged more.
Okay.
There would be another insurance company that would come along and they would say, okay, is it really true that Native Americans universally are being charged more, or can I undercut my competitor by looking at people on an individual level and looking at all of their risk factors apart from race? Because race is not inherently linked to drunk driving.
But that hasn't happened with males. Because, for instance, not all males, you know, are going to be, in and of it themselves, like, more reckless drivers than females. However, like as you said, neither is that the case for,
but this is why, I mean, let's be real about this. This is why car insurance companies have good driver discounts, for example. They have good student discounts, right? They actually do look at more than you just, like my insurance rates went up through the ceiling when I got caught going down the I-5 at 113 and had my license suspended for a month. They've gone down since because I haven't had a ticket for 5 years. So, you know, this is, so the point that I'm making is that if you are suggesting that, if you're trying to line up discrimination with market-based profit, if your question is that, can you imagine a situation in which a business makes more money by discriminating, and would that be okay? Then the answer would be, it's a business, you can do what you want in a free society, and I have no right to use your services. However, it has yet to come to my attention that racial discrimination in a business is an actual profitable thing over time in a free market system where people can compete, because race is not inherently connected to behavioral categories, right? The basis of racism is that race is connected to behavior.
Well, I'd just like to say, for instance, Thomas Sowell pointed out, like in his book, Black Rednecks, White Liberals, or whatever.
Yes.
That the Irish.
It's actually right. It's white. Yeah, you're right. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Right.
It's a good book. Yeah.
I got that data point.
You got it.
He pointed out that the Irish, for instance, were in the Americas for hundreds upon hundreds of years, locked in destitute, grinding poverty.
Right.
Okay. So you just said that race, you know, if you're a company and you institute racist policies, won't, like there's no long-term gain to be made from those policies. And I think that that's erroneous to say, because as you know, inequities, inequalities, disparities do exist between certain communities. So
you'd have to show me the disparity based on race and why it's biologically inborn as opposed to cultural.
I'm not trying to say that it's not biologically born. I'm just saying that if you had a policy whereby you, okay.
I don't want you to confound. Here's the problem I'm having, and I think we can stop with this I don't want to confound race with behavior unless you can show me that race is the inherent source of the behavior. And if it is the inherent source of the behavior, then we can have a separate discussion. But I don't see that. And if you show me that race is in fact that, then that's a separate discussion as to whether we have to force businesses not to take race into account.